Hello, thank you for joining us in this edition of the program Reaching the World. Today we'll be discussing what I have titled Be Yourself, You Are Unique. My name is Jason Namdewabwane, your regular anchor, and I welcome you on board. Like I said, we will be discussing the title Be Yourself, You Are Unique. And we'll be anchoring our discussion this morning on the great word of certain wise man who once said, and I quote, "It is the most frustrating and annoying thing in life, living trying to be someone else. It is the most frustrating and annoying thing in life, living trying to be someone else." Yes, this is true. The most frustrating thing you can ever do to yourself in the journey of life is to want to live your life trying to be someone else, because you can never be someone else. It is not possible that you become someone else. You are unique, even as uniquely and perfectly made, just as you are. It does not matter whose face looks like yours or whose kind of stature you seem to have possessed. It does not matter. You are unique and you are a brand. Every man is a brand. There is no two you in the whole wide world. Just understand this. There is no other you anywhere else except the you that you can see in you. Every man is a brand, and you too are a brand. So when you want to live your life trying to be someone else or like someone else, by imitating everything that the person does or says and how he does it, you are only but promoting another man's brand. When you've got what it takes in you to make of your own brand and promote your own brand, that is the irony. You've got what it takes in you to be a brand, make of your own brand and promote your own brand. So why dissipate your energy, your time and your resources promoting another man's brand? It is not bad for you to have a role model. It is not bad for you to have a role model. But you mustn't want to fry your hair because it fries his hair. Or relax your hair because it relaxes his hair. Or you want to begin to twist your tongue to speak like him before you can deliver the message you've got to deliver. You don't need it. You can deliver the same message or a similar one that he had done without having to twist your tongue to imitate his tone or accent. It is not necessary. If you are slow speaking, so be it. That is the unique you. If you are so speaking, so be it. That is the unique you. But you don't want to begin to struggle to speak fast simply because someone speaks in that manner. If you do that, you will be making a mess of your message because you were not made to be so. You can never be him because he is not you. What you rather need as a speaker, for instance, and what actually matters is be articulate. How composed and reasonably sensible you are in what you are saying. Let your message be reasonable and impactful. That is what matters. Your language, let me tell you, is not a disadvantage to you. Your dialect is not a disadvantage to you. That is not the reason why you've not become what you actually wanted to be. When you want to be like someone else, you are only living in sheer ignorance. And the problem is your inability to identify and exploit the potentials, the resources that you've got in you, as nature has buried in you, which has the capacity to launch you to the greatest height in life that you will ever desire to get to. Your language, your dialect is not any disadvantage. It's not the reason why you are done. But today, what do we see? All we see are families, couples who will never speak to or communicate with their kids in their mother language. They just don't want them to learn that culture, the language. And when you as a stranger perhaps want to try to talk with this kid in this forbidden language, so to say,
what you hear the parents or the guardian say to you is, don't speak to them, don't speak to him in that thing, don't speak to her in that thing. Now your own language has become that thing simply because you want to speak someone else's language. You are only but imitating him. You can never be him. You were brought up with this dialect. You grew up with this dialect to become what you have become today. And the language you borrowed has now made you to call your language, refer to your language as that thing, and you don't want your own children to understand it. But let me tell you, there is no how and no amount of imitation of accent or twisting of tongue or borrowing of tone that we do, speaking the English language, for instance, or any other language that you might have want to adopt or borrow as a language of communication, that will get you to become a British or an American or a native of that language. So it is not necessary. Your height is not a disadvantage. Your stature, your physique, your complexion is not a disadvantage to you. But today, what do we see? What we see are ladies going for surgeries, taking drugs and injections because they want body enlargement. Enlargement of the hips, enlargement of the buttocks, enlargement of the breast, just name it. Because someone wants to be like someone else. And soon, these chemicals that we are taking into your system will get expired and they will begin to react. And your health will begin to fail. You begin to struggle with your health. And the resources you would have invested in something more profitable to you, you begin to expend it trying to keep your health. And soon you meet your untimely death because you are trying to be someone else. In the days of Albany Derego, for instance, almost every lady wanted to be slim. Putting all energy, all resources, all effort into wanting to be slim. Today is body enlargement. You can imagine the confusion. You can imagine the confusion in trying to be someone else. At the end of the day, you do not become this person. And all you have succeeded in doing is to launch yourself in a high height of frustration. Because when you are trying to be someone else and at the end of the day you have expended all you've got trying to do this and you are not able to get it, you become frustrated. It is most annoying though when you even get to realize at a point that what you have in you is even great and even greater enough to make you greater than this person you are looking up to wanting to be like. Now when you want to be like someone that you have something in you that has the capacity to make you greater than him, what you are doing is to limit yourself to the level of the person's greatness. You can imagine. Your height is not a disadvantage to you. It is rather an advantage. For instance, I once lived with a friend in a home that is of low roof. This fellow was far taller than I am. So the home was not comfortable for him because every now and then he got himself involved in one domestic accident or the other by having to knock his head against the door bar or against the ceiling fan as the case may be. And whenever this happened, I felt for him. I had compassion for him. I felt pity for him. But certainly I was not the one feeling the pain that he was feeling, because I was comfortable in the same home that he was not comfortable in. I could stand under the same ceiling fan and I could pass through freely through the door. Now, if I had considered my height a disadvantage comparing to his, what a great mistake would I be making? What a great mistake would I be making? I would like you to understand that if you see someone as having an advantage over you because of his height, maybe in getting something that is hanging in the air, do also understand that when it comes to picking something on the floor, something lying on the floor, you have an advantage over him. So where you feel disadvantaged, he also is disadvantaged in that area. So all you need is not struggling trying to be someone else, but rather just do all you can to be the best of yourself. You've got the resources, the talent, just identify it, discover it. You've got the potential, just discover it. Make a skill of it. Invest in it and improve on it. Then put it into maximum and judicious use, and you see how far it can take you. Even greater, far greater than the person you are wanting to be. That the person that you are mimicking and copying and imitating. Thank you for listening. It is my conviction that you've come to the understanding of the necessity of being yourself, because you are unique and perfectly made. We have seen disabled persons, for instance, who make judicious use, maximum use, and gain maximum benefit of their situation. And we now see even able men trying to copy people who were said to be disabled in one way or the other because they want to make fame. You can imagine the confusion. In all, you are who you are because God wants you to make the best of it. He has buried in you what it takes to be greater than that person you are looking at. Thank you once again for listening. I remain yours truly, Jason Namdewabwana, and until I come your way again, remain blessed and stay out of trouble.